Hi, I'm Ali Baumgarten, and welcome to my presentation, Exploring the Dutch Language, my final project for Linguistics 201. So when I started this project, I really didn't know anything about Dutch. And what I found out was that worldwide, there's approximately 23 million people who speak Dutch as a first language, and another 4 million people who have learned it as a second, third, or more language. Here in Canada, there's approximately 140,000 Dutch speakers, and people of Dutch descent make up our largest minority at 900,000 people. While it's best known as the official language of the Netherlands, I didn't realize that it was also a national language in many other countries, and even in Indonesia until 1949. Like English, Dutch belongs to the West Germanic family of languages. Afrikaans and Flemish also belong to this family. Interestingly, Dutch and Flemish are the same language. It's just called Flemish in Belgium, and Dutch everywhere else in the world. I also didn't realize that Afrikaans is derived from Dutch, and so a Dutch speaker and an Afrikaans speaker can have a conversation even without knowing each other's languages because of the similarities. So for my linguistic phenomenon that I studied, I learned about past tense verbs and a rule called the Kofskip. So what I learned is that all verbs have a root, or in Dutch they call it a stam or stem. So the word fietsen, for example, means biking. The stem of this word is fiets, bike. To make a verb past tense, we must add the suffix te or de onto the end of the word. In this case, the past tense of fiets would be fietste, or biked. So how do you know whether to add te or de? Well, for that they have a rule called de Kofskip. And if the word ends with any of those consonants, K, F, S, C, H, or P, then you would add te to the end to make it past tense. If it ends with any other letter that's not found in de Kofskip, then you would add de. So if we took the word schilderen, which means painting, and wanted to make it the past tense painted, first we must find the stem, which is schilder, and because it ends in R, not found in de Kofskip, then we would add de to make schilderde, which means painted. While I was looking for some Dutch words to pronounce, I learned that the Dutch have quite a few sayings that sound pretty funny when they translate directly to English. So Ms. Voss, through personal communication, taught me 3 of them. The first one is met de deur in huis vallen, which means, literally translated, with the door in house falling. And in English, we would say, I fell with the door in the house. What this means is if somebody's trying to say, to get straight to the point, they will say, met de deur in huis vallen. So some other interesting sayings that I was introduced to was helaas pindakaas, which means unfortunately peanut butter, or in English, too bad. So what this really just means is too bad, so sad. So the word helaas already means too bad, but they've paired it with a random rhyming word, just like we do in English with too bad, so sad. And the last one that I learned is in de soep lopen, which means in the soup walking, literally. In English, our sentence would be, it walks in the soup. And the meaning to this is just to say it's all going wrong. So one interesting thing to note is that in a casual conversation, you would not pronounce the final N, so it would still be in de soep lopen. But if you were having a serious conversation about things all going wrong, you would pronounce the final N and say in de soep lopen. And here are my references, and thank you for watching my presentation.